Now, this idea of entrepreneurship is based on this principle of building the life that you want in such a way where you can enjoy it. Now, most people are continuously working, or they're continuously focused on the next thing, that which they accomplished or that which they dreamed of to accomplish, when they accomplish it, they can no longer enjoy it because they do not live in the present moment. I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs that on the first hand live a life of anxiety. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the life of anxiety that entrepreneurs live, why I think it takes place, and how to mitigate it. So if you're an entrepreneur that struggles with anxiety, please listen up. This video is for you. If you're an entrepreneur that struggles with depression, listen up as well. So most people that are focused on the future are focused on things that are, one, imaginary, two, are focused on things that they cannot control, and three, are conjuring up most likely negative future outcomes of the world based off of all the negative bombarding and programming that's around you. Think about most of the content that you're consuming every single day. Oh, the banks are fucking falling. Oh, there's bombs falling from the sky. Money's worthless. Inflation through the roof. Like, that's what you're fed all day, every single day. So that's the basis of information that you have. Now, if the basis of information that you have is completely based on blood, right? Blood in the markets, blood through wars, blood through slavery, blood through exploitation. You're always focused on all this negative input. The perception that you're going to have of the world is going to be based off of that. And it's extremely troubling because if you spend any time on social media or any time on the For You page, you're going to realize that a lot of this content kind of starts becoming that. It starts becoming a little bit more obscure, and it can get a little bit ridiculous. So you have to be extremely careful with that. So if you're building a future in your mind that is conjured up based on all these negative factors, your future outcome is most likely going to be what? Negative. So you'd be obviously living in anxiety because the world's collapsing, like it's been collapsing since forever, right? All of the things that are collapsing is your dependence on systematic infrastructure. But if you're outside of the system, and you can be in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through being off-grid or understanding how monetary suppliers or diversification, or being able to move in through various asset classes in the liquid format, or being able to have cash flow that pays you on a monthly basis regardless of economic conditions, these things kind of help. But if you're in a situation where you're always focused on the future, then you're going to be anxious. Why? Well, because you're focused on a future that is negative, and it's a future that you cannot control. That makes your present very difficult to deal with. Now, on the other hand, you have the other spectrum of the entrepreneurs, and these are the entrepreneurs that are depressed. These are the entrepreneurs that can't get over their L's. They can't get over their losses. The traders that take a bad trade and they sit in bed for a week or a month instead of going back into the books and figuring out, why did I do what I did? How do I not do it again? Right? So a lot of people live in the past and they are depressed. Why? Because they cannot change the past. So the people in the future are anxious for a future that's about to come, and they're anxious because they can't control what's about to come, because they do not feel in control. And I will teach you how to feel in control in just a second. Then you have the people living in the past. They are depressed because at the present moment, they cannot control the past, right? So they're living in a state of depression because they are in a state of repression. They cannot let go of all these bottled feelings, emotions, and memories that haunt them. And you need to be able to let go of all of that stuff and be in the present moment in order to maximize the output and efficiency that you have. Let me explain. When you are, let's say, playing a sport and you are a top-level athlete, it's extremely important to understand the amount of focus and level-headedness that it takes to be in the present moment. To be in the present moment is required in order to succeed, in order to win, in order to beat your opponent. In business, you're going to have opponents, and your ability to be present-minded and your ability to be balanced is going to keep you from losing. It's going to keep you from slipping. It's going to keep you from messing up. Why? Because you're going to be aware, you're going to be present, you're going to be careful, you're going to be cautious. If you're living in the past, you're depressed. You're not focused in the present moment. Why? Because your attention is over there. You're giving energy and time to something that's dead. Then in the future, you're focused and giving attention to things that are focused on the output and things that you cannot control, whereby you should be focusing on the input. The input, right, is the things that you can focus on the regular basis, and that is the things of the present moment. So at the present moment, what can you do right now to guarantee an increase in potential outcome of the future? You cannot guarantee it, but you can play odds. So you know that if you exercise 300 days out of the year, right, you're going to have a better body, a healthier physique, and a healthier body than if you didn't work out 300 days out of the year. If you eat healthy 342 days out of the year, as opposed to eating McDonald's 342 days out of the year, you're going to have a different outcome. There are variables in that spectrum of the outcome, yes, absolutely, but you can gauge a potential future. How? By living in the present moment actively with what? Integrity, with equanimity, and overall with excellence, knowing that everything that you do will have an echoing effect or a ripple effect into the future. And that's how you dissolve the anxiety, by being present and knowing that you control, in essence, the probabilities of the future, not the future, but the probabilities of the future through your actions of the present, that the past does not dictate who you are, since you can change it instantly in the present moment to then affect the future. So understand this principle. Do not be anxious. Do not be depressed. Be present, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this video again, reconsume this information, play it on repeat. Focus on the past, you'll be depressed. Focus on the future, you'll be anxious. Focus on the present, and you'll win.